Thank you very much indeed, and hello everyone. And Jenny, thank you for reminding me that the IoD was the 1000th signatory or accredited member of the Good Business Charter, which is great. Although, to be honest, I wish that we'd been the first, or maybe the second or the third member or signatory of the Good Business Charter. But, better late than never. And for us, it really was a no-brainer when we finally took a close look at what the Good Business Charter was all about, because we realized that we were just very aligned with what the Good Business Charter was trying to achieve, both in a general sense, in terms of really trying to advocate and promote responsible business, responsible long-term business, which cared about the stakeholders which were engaged with a company, but also looking at the individual components of the framework that you've created. There really was an alignment with that. So, it was very easy for us to decide to sign. But of course, the IoD itself is quite a small organization. I mean, we're an SME. We have significantly less than 100 employees. So the real interest for us in terms of coming together with a Good Business Charter was to use this with our members, to offer this as a ready-made framework which our members could adopt to take forward their good business practices. And it's, this is the sort of, I suppose it's the sort of thing that if we'd thought of it earlier, we might have wanted to have invented ourselves as the IoD. But as you had done it, and you, Jenny, and Julian had already thought of it and created such a terrific framework, I suppose our view was, why try and reinvent the wheel? This is a great framework which we can encourage and advocate with our members. And a second big thing for us was the idea of kind of forming a partnership with you as a body. So not just to sign up ourselves, I mean, great, that may send a nice signal, but to engage in an ongoing partnership with you, reaching out to our members and reaching out to other businesses. And we've been doing that. I mean, I was delighted to take part recently in a podcast with Julian. Thank you very much for that. That was extremely well received by our members. And that's really how I see our relationship, as being as a kind of a partnership rather than just a name on a list of signatories. Just finally, I think that there is a tremendous need to promote the cause of responsible business at the moment. I mean, to us, I suppose the people here to some extent will be the converted. We kind of will all believe in it by definition, but we shouldn't take for granted actually that the sort of principles that we're advocating are necessarily accepted by everyone in society. And the IoD has long argued that we need to kind of create incentives to encourage people to do the right thing. There are actually a lot of incentives out there to perhaps encourage people to do the wrong thing, to pursue short-term financial gain at the expense of other things. Now, that doesn't necessarily, though, mean that we just need to have a lot of regulation, a big regulatory burden for business to get them to do that. And as you would imagine, IoD members aren't, that's one of their common gripes, that they don't want too much unnecessary regulation, and that's fair enough. But if we're not going that route, and if we don't want to go down that route, I suppose we have to think of other mechanisms, other techniques which we can use to encourage people to do the right thing. And some of the things the IoD advocates for tries to do that. We've been advocating for a while, for example, that the corporation tax system should promote net zero. Should provide a tax incentive to pursue net zero. But I think the Good Business Charter, it tries to achieve that in another way. I think through the power of peer pressure, it can provide a way to encourage companies to think about these issues, to sign up, to take action, and really to be responsible. In addition, to providing that signal to consumers in terms of, we are committed to being a responsible business. So it can be, I think, incredibly powerful. And I think just the speed with which the Good Business Charter has expanded and developed, shows its power and shows that it's talking to a very willing audience. So I hope, we very much want to remain good partners of the Good Business Charter, and I hope we can persuade more and more companies, more and more entrepreneurs, more and more large enterprises to sign up to the Good Business Charter so that it can become, the industry standard in terms of accrediting responsible business conduct. And so once again, as with Kate, I'd be very happy to speak to any of you in terms of, what it involves to become a signatory to the Good Business Charter.